Marhaba, this is the Arab Gamer.
And this is Doom.
And we're here to talk about Final Fantasy Versus XIII and how it's not cancelled. Yeah, we were going to make a video about why Final Fantasy Versus XIII was cancelled and why it's a bad thing, but since it's not cancelled, we decided to make this episode about...
Why should you still be excited?
It's okay. I know, we're all excited, but we all want to play Final Fantasy Versus XIII. So we're here to talk about why you should, even though the game has been in development for 6 years, why you should still look forward to the game and why it's so freaking awesome. Okay, so Dooms, tell us what makes Final Fantasy Versus XIII so awesome.
Well, at first when I saw it, like the unique environment.
Yeah, definitely.
Like, the whole city, the night system, it had like
a day and night cycle, and it was pretty unique because I think this is one of the first Final Fantasy games that really went this far and ambitious in terms of creating an open world environment with a day and night cycle, with different monsters that appear at different
you can expect different missions, different quests.
Yeah, like you can only imagine the depth and how dynamic it's going to be because it's pretty cool. Another thing that really stood out was the combat system, right? Like as soon as you see the gameplay, you notice how it's all action based and it's all hack and slash, kind of like Kingdom Hearts, right?
Yeah, it reminded me of Kingdom Hearts, the system, the HP, everything about it.
Yeah, like the layout in the menu, you can tell like it kind of had like this Kingdom Hearts-esque design, so it's pretty cool. And so another thing is obviously its design and its setting, right? Because this is a Final Fantasy game that has this realistic, real-world setting.
Based on reality.
Yeah, it's a fantasy based on reality. That's what they put in the beginning of the trailer. And it's true because the game, unlike other Final Fantasy games, the only other Final Fantasy game I can think of is 7 that has a kind of like a real-world environment tone to it. But this one really stood out. And the characters kind of have like normal clothes, right?
Yeah, no, not a huge armor or like... a big wizard hat.
Yeah, it didn't go like all out. It was like, it tried to make the people look real, and there weren't like a lot of belts this time.
Not like Sora.
Yeah, not like Sora from Kingdom Hearts 2, who had like belts over
gazillion belts.
And zippers. So moving on, why do you think the people took the rumors so seriously?
Well, it's been 6 years. And there were no updates.
Lack of updates have led to many people assuming. This rumor came from one source. It was from Kotaku, and they didn't even have like hard evidence to back it up. They just said we heard from this source that the game is cancelled, and that's it.
It's cancelled.
Yeah, and people took it so seriously because the game has not been shown any real. Like over the 6 years, we only got a few trailers and a few, images here and there.
It's cancelled.
Exactly.
It's cancelled.
So I think the main reason why it took so long was because it was a premature announcement. They announced it before the PlayStation 3, and the developer didn't it was still in pre-production, so they still had to implement the engine, and now they kept changing the engine and
the development team kept changing.
Yeah, the development team kept shifting. Even they had to go and work on 13, then they had to go back to Versus 13, so it was kind of a bit of a mess. And one other evidence that I think the game didn't get cancelled. Why Final Fantasy Versus XIII didn't get cancelled. When I heard the announcement, I told myself, I don't think that's true because they spent so much time in the development. And
why should they cancel it all of a sudden?
Exactly. The president of Square Enix himself said that in order for he wants this game to come out because it's trying to do something else, and
it might change the whole.
Yeah, it might become a new branch of in the Final Fantasy
for
series.
Square Enix.
Exactly, and how basically he thinks that if there isn't a Final Fantasy game that can top 7, then there won't be an FF7 remake. So I'm pretty sure he's confident that because the Final Fantasy games haven't been doing so well lately.
He believes that Final Fantasy Versus XIII is going to be the one.
Yeah, he thinks that it's going to be the trump card to pretty much tell everyone hey, this game might actually be better than Final Fantasy VII, or at least on the same level. And I kind of get this feeling.
I'll get at least to the level.
Yeah. And and the fact that also the other reason why I think they didn't cancel is because they put in a DLC in the Rhythm Final Fantasy game.
Yeah, the one that's about the song.
Yeah, on the
press
3DS,
button.
and they had a DLC which is a song from Versus 13. So it wouldn't make sense to
Cancel the game.
cancel the game and then put a DLC from a canceled game. It's kind of like
Lame.
lame. Yeah, it's kind of, what are you doing this to me? I'm playing a game.
You just want to make us suffer.
Is this the only time I can play Versus 13? Is through a rhythm game?
Like, yay! Now I
Uh,
get the feeling of Versus 13.
Yeah, through, Elite Beats
Music.
agent style. So, do you think we'll ever see it?
I believe in this year, nothing.
Nothing? You don't
Maybe
think
in
so?
a couple of years.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. They're going to announce 13.3, so they want to market that.
Maybe they'll announce something in Tokyo
What do
Game
you
Show.
Well, yeah, Tokyo Game Show. I mean, if they show something there, and I know the game is already in full development. The creator Tetsuya Nomura said that the game is in full development. He's going full steam ahead, and he's now dedicating his whole time to finishing this project. So hopefully it makes an appearance in TGS. We're not sure, but what do you think? 2 years?
2 years.
Hopefully.
Before the new consoles at least coming out.
Okay. Well, anyways, thanks for watching. If you have any opinions on what you think of Final Fantasy Versus 13, you think it's going to live up to your expectations? You think it's meh? Like, is it worth your time? I don't know.
And do you think it's gonna be a unique game?
Yeah, I honestly think it's going to be awesome. But other people see it differently. I think some people think, oh, it's going to be another Duke Nukem Forever.
Nah.
Yeah.
I bet it's gonna be something new for us from the
Yeah.
Square Enix.
No, I think yeah. Especially since Tetsuya Nomura, who made The World Ends With You, which is a great game, new IP. I think he'll make a good job out of this.
Yeah.
So thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe, give us your opinions and feedback.